connected. His phone had died. He was taken, he felt like it was off the planet, but he's seen darkness with some unique building structures. They were curving but triangular, I believe, at the top. But he was not able to enter the buildings. He felt they were Australian-like. Do you know where he was?
Aftermath in Atlantis.
Mm, yes, yes. What is it you wanted to show him there?
That was once his place of residence.
Mm. So the building he went to is his actual home?
Yes, it is.
Mm. Mm. What do you want to share with us about Atlantis and the downfall of Atlantis, or the scene you were showing?
He had a very important role as a shaman in Atlantis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he's naturally a healer, is that correct?
The author of the Emerald Tablets.
Oh, say it again.
He personally knew the author of the Emerald Tablets.
Thoth? Is that who you're referring to?
Thoth.
Mm-hmm. Is that the author of the Emerald Tablets?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And Thoth is god of all the bird tribes, correct?
And more.
And more. Yes, yes. Um, Now, is Thoth energetically one of the archangels?
He is separate from the archangels.
Separate from the archangel.
But yes, he has power equal to theirs.
Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful. Now, is Leslie part of one of the bird tribes or a different tribe?
He is part of the angelic tribes. He is a major celestial body in the angelic tribes.
Okay, so he's an angelic.
Amongst the healing angelics.
Okay. And is that his origin?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So is he of the blue rays?
No, he is. Raphael is a he's dealt in the healing arts of Raphael.
Okay, so is he a fractal of?
He's part of the celestial body of healing angels, which
So
people know
he's
as Raphael's the over. Raphael is over the lineage which he comes out of.
Okay. Okay. So he's Raphael's energetic lineage.
Yes.
Okay. Does he have a connection to Andromeda?
Vega, Lumeria, he's traveled extensively throughout the star systems of Sirius, Pleiades, Andromedon, Lyran.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He was androgynous back in Lyrian.
And Marion?
And Vega.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, does he also belong to a tribe that incarnated with him this lifetime?
Yes. He's throughout the majority of his lifetimes, he's dealt with healing. In the majority of his lifetimes, he dealt with the tribe of healing angelics.
Oh, okay. Is it part of his mission now to work with this tribe in this incarnation?
That's his ultimate mission on this earth, is to work with them, and they're slowly gathering around him.
Beautiful.
Some he's aware of, and some are amongst him that are not even aware themselves that they are part of it.
Right. Yes, because the tribes are being called together.
Yes, they are. They're being formulated right now as we speak.
Beautiful, beautiful. Hmm. And even though I'm able to confirm origin, it is definitely the interconnectedness that we form is so complex. It is, I guess, to get a clear understanding, it is best to receive direct answer from source during an aura session, correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes, because even I myself am still not aware of everything or all of the origins in this from this dimension or this perspective. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Would you like to continue with questions or the time for bodies?
You can carry on to the next phase.
The next phase, okay. So this, so the session we're doing today, he was taken to, he felt like he was, he's seen dark soil and rocks, he was barefoot, felt like he was doing a tradition where the young men, as or the boys as they become men, they were traditionally sent out on their own. He felt like maybe he was wearing traditional paint and a headgear, maybe with feathers and animal skin. Are you familiar with that lifetime?
Yes, I am. That's the Dogon Tribe. He was a member of the Dogon Tribe, and he was sent out to survive and show that he was 12 years old, and he was sent out to survive out in the elements and to eat whatever it was that he could eat and sleep. He wasn't just sent out there without knowledge of how to survive. Unfortunately, he underestimated the animal he tried to take down, and that led to his demise. And
Yes.
energetically, it still affects him to this very day.
How is that?
There's a fear he has in his energetic body that hasn't totally been transmuted to love yet. It's a fear that is eating away at him, and he's not even aware of where its origin is.
This fear, does it have more to do with not trusting himself, underestimating the power of the animal? Like, can you expand on that?
He will not take the risk, the necessary risk it takes to go to the next phase of his journey because of that one incident that has not been totally taken out of his mind, body, soul, and spirit energetically.
And how do we heal that? Are we able to heal that today?
He has to totally submit to his journey, which he's been running away from for many years. He's just recent years has come into his acknowledgement and going toward the light instead of running away from the light. Once he runs toward the light and continually picks up momentum, running into the light, then he will overcome that fear and reach the level of healing he was put down here on earth to do.
Beautiful. Is there a level of forgiveness required for underestimating himself, or
He has
not
not
knowing
forgiven
better?
himself. He beats himself up because he has not forgiven himself. He knew he could overcapture that animal, and when he didn't, it just deflated his ego, and he second guessed everything he's done throughout the lifetimes. Even though he has gifts, he they lie dormant because he doesn't step into the full power of his energetic body. He doesn't step into it because of his indecisiveness about any project he could take on.
Mm. Yes, yes. Anything else you want to say about this lifetime or this fear?
He's on his way to overcoming that fear, but he never stepped into it as soon as he had many opportunities to overcome this fear, but ran the opposite way. But as of lately, he's been facing a lot of his fears head on, and that's what's going to eventually get him over the fear that happened back when he was in the Dogons. That will eventually allow him to step into his true power, because he hasn't stepped into his true power as of yet. And once he does, he'll be really grateful and appreciative of his power and the true love he will have for himself as a result of seeing the gifts that he has become even more enhanced than what they are right now.
Beautiful, beautiful. And is that why the dragon that was invoked for him today was the golden solar dragon? Helps him to stand in his masculine power with wisdom?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, the last life we showed him was where he was in the classroom. He was actually a Caucasian man, maybe about 18, maybe a senior in high school, with his teacher Elizabeth. And the teacher was teaching him a lesson about self-sabotaging and loving his inner child. Did you want to expand upon or share anything about this lifetime?
Leslie buries a lot of things deep within him and doesn't deal with them head on. And because of that, it just builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up to a point to where it becomes detrimental in anything he tries to put his hand to, because he has taught to hold everything inside, and that's been to his detriment, because it filters out into other aspects of his life, and it diminishes anything he could ever try to accomplish, because he holds everything inside. And then when it does eventually come out, it comes out in a negative way. But he's mastered that throughout the years. But still, the fact that he didn't deal with a lot of emotional issues, it still holds him back from accomplishing things that he's could be way greater than what he is right now. But he has allowed himself to hold his own self in a prison, a self-contained prison. And that has been detrimental to him for reaching a height that he could be reached already, because of allowing emotional problems, like with his father, for instance, being a very authoritative type personality, diminishing him as a young man and making him that even enforce the fact that he second guessed himself on everything he's tried to accomplish. He should have been much further ahead of the game than he is right now, but because he's allowed past trauma being belittled by his father, it has diminished the power that he already has as an end result. But now he's actually moving toward true healing,
Mm-hmm.
because he is seeing that the various masks he had on throughout the years are falling off, and he has no choice but to deal with the reality of what his mission is on this earth. And he's no longer running. That's the good part of this. He's no longer running.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. The tradition that are taught, that's taught to our men to withhold, reject, or mask, or not acknowledge their emotions. How does this affect them? Is this the box or the prison you speak of?
The self-contained prison he put up is a protection mechanism. Though he thinks he's protecting himself from heartache and he feels he's protecting himself by putting that prison up, but it's been very detrimental and holding him back from going to where he needs to accomplish. And because of authoritative people in his life, it's kind of put him in a corner, like a little child in the corner that is too scared to move out that corner and step up to the plate and make things happen. Because of people in his life, relatives were very strict and allowed him, he had to protect himself by building up these walls and prisons and various masks and pretending to be something he isn't, and it's kept him from being that much further in his journey because of people. He was different, and because of him being different, people tried to tell him to do this and that, but he felt it wasn't in him. That was not, he wasn't that type of person. So he had to put on a mask and pretend to fit in a typical cookie cut type of person, when in actuality he was a complete opposite of that. So when the veils started falling and falling and falling, then he had to deal with, who am I? Why I'm who am I really? And that's where his journey really began. After he got hit by that truck, his journey really began after he got hit by that truck and died and came back. That's when his life turned for the better. That's when he started realizing he's tired of holding up these fake masks and acting like something he isn't, and started taking charge of what he's really put down here for, seeking wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in whichever way he could. And that's how his journey has taken him to the point where he is right now.
Mm-hmm. That near-death experience. So he did actually die because he said he felt like he went to a different dimension. Can you clarify that a little for him?
He died, but his cord wasn't severed from the etheric realm, so he still had work to do, and he was told he had work to do. That's why he didn't stay when he got hit by the truck. He was in the room. He was in the room of the transporting of souls,
Mm.
but it wasn't his time to be in that room.
Right.
And that amplified everything. All his gifts have always been there, but after the near death is when his gifts be amplified. And that's why he started seeing the light and wanting to learn how the universe works, questioning everything he's been taught in religion and every aspect of his life. Prior to that, he never really questioned it that much, but after that incident, he started questioning everything that happened in his what happened in his life, and that's how he began to grow, and that's how his journey began.
Mm-hmm. The room of the transporting of souls, is that where you go for like your, what I call processing or your life review and lessons learned?
Yes, you do. You go there, and everything you've done in your past lives, you remember. Once you go there, you remember what you were here for in the first place and why you came here, why you chose the parents you chose. All
Right,
that's
right.
revealed in that room.
Mm-hmm. What happens to the spirits that don't go for processing or don't go for light or to the light or don't do their life review? Do they just not go to that room? Are they afraid? Like, why does that happen? Why do they stay floating around in the earth realm?
All I can tell you is it has to do with karma, it has to do with a lot of karma in that person's energetic field.
That karma, does it lead them to being fearful? And that's why they don't go?
They don't realize that they're dead. They don't realize they had the opportunity to go to it, but they didn't. They refused. Their free will kept them from going. They didn't. It's a debt they have to pay that they don't want to face paying it.
Hmm.
Can't expound further than that.
Oh, say it again.
I can't expound further than that.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that much. Thank you.